habits.
Hello everyone, I am here with another live session with Call Annie from AI World. I am Maria, facilitator at Red Academy. As you know, we are doing our live session on different topics. Today, our topic is a simple way to break a bad habit. We discuss this in detail with Call Annie. So, without wasting time, let's welcome our guest. Can you hear me? Hello, Annie.
Loud and clear. And I'm thrilled to be here with you all, discussing simple ways to break bad habits.
Now, please tell me what is bad habit? How does it form?
So, let's start by defining what a bad habit is. A bad habit is a behavior or thought pattern that's not serving us well, and it's often repeated consistently over time. It's something that we might do or think without even realizing it, and it can have negative effects on our mental, emotional, or physical well being. Now, when it comes to how bad habits form, it's often a combination of factors. Here are a few common ways that bad habits can develop in. Repetitive behavior can become automatic, and our brains can learn to associate certain triggers with certain behaviors. This can lead to the development of habits that aren't necessarily healthy or constructive. 2. We might develop bad habits as a way to cope with stress, anxiety, or other difficult emotions. For example, we might turn to comfort foods or substances as a way to manage our emotions. 3. We might adopt bad habits because of our social environment, whether it's due to peer pressure, influences from our friends, or the behaviors we see around us. 4. We might not even realize we're developing a bad habit, or we might not have the skills or strategies to stop ourselves from doing it. 5. Certain chemicals, hormones, or environmental triggers can also contribute to the development of bad habits. For example, certain medications or substances can affect our mood and behavior, leading to the development of unhealthy habits. So, as you can see, bad habits can develop from a complex mix of factors, and it's often not just one thing that causes them. But the good news is that, by becoming more aware of our habits and substituting them with healthier ones, we can break free from bad habits and develop more positive, empowering ones. What do you all think? Have you ever noticed how bad habits might develop in your own life?
Yes, bad habits are bad things, and when we are used to of it, then we are not doing our work very well. We don't focus on our work. Now, please tell me why it is often challenging to break bad habit. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Now, as you know, we are doing our live session. Can you please tell me why it is often challenging to break a bad habit?
Breaking a bad habit can be tough. You know, I've been there too, my friend. I think one of the biggest reasons it's challenging is that our brains are wired to repeat patterns, and habits can become automatic, like second nature. It's like our brain is saying, hey, I know this one, let's just stick with it. And before we know it, we're stuck in that rut. Plus, our emotions can also play a big role in perpetuating bad habits. For example, if we're using a habit to cope with stress or boredom, then quitting it can be really hard because our brain is attached to that emotional release. What about you? What do you think is the main challenge in breaking a bad habit?
And breaking bad habit is a big challenge for everyone because we are used to of it. It is very difficult for us. to break a bad habit, especially at initial stage, but it is very important to break that if we want to focus on our work and if we want to achieve success in our future. Now we move forward to our next question. Can you explain the science between habit information and breaking?
The science behind habits is fascinating. So there's this guy, Daniel Kahneman, who's a Nobel Prize winning economist, and he says that we have two systems in our brain. System 1 is the automatic, intuitive part that makes decisions for us, and system 2 is the logical, rational part that's more deliberate. Habits, according to this theory, are formed when our system 1 brain takes over and automates a behavior kind of like a muscle memory. This is because our brains love efficiency, so they try to simplify repetitive tasks by making them automatic. Now, when we want to break a bad habit, it's like trying to override our system 1 brain's autopilot. It's hard because our brain is wired to repeat the pattern, and it's like trying to change an old habit by programming a new one. On the other side, there's the concept of implementation intentions, which is basically making a plan for how we're going to break a bad habit. When we do this, our system 2 brain gets involved, and we're more likely to follow through with the new plan. So, to break a bad habit, we need to both override our automatic brain and make a conscious plan to change our behavior. It's like we need to acknowledge our habits and make a conscious effort to change them. What do you think? Have you experienced this in your own life?
Yes, it is very important because habit formation and breaking both are very important. We overcome it at initial stage because it is very difficult when we are used to of a bad habit. Now we move forward. What are key components of a habit loop?
The habit loop. So, Charles Duhigg, a great researcher, explains that a habit loop consists of three main components: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is the trigger that sets off the habit, like a specific time of day, a certain location, or even a certain emotional state. The routine is the behavior itself, the action we take in response to the cue. And the reward is the payoff or benefit we get from doing the habit, like feeling relaxed or accomplished. So, when we're trying to break a bad habit, we need to identify these three components and change them. For example, if we're trying to break the habit of checking our phone every time we get up from the couch, we might identify the cue as getting up from the couch. The routine is checking our phone, and the reward is feeling a sense of relaxation or distraction. To break the habit, we might try to change the cue by finding a new activity to do when we get up from the couch, like stretching or doing some quick yoga poses. We might also try to change the routine by doing something else instead of checking our phone, like taking a few deep breaths. And we might try to find an alternative reward by doing something that gives us a sense of relaxation or fulfillment, like taking a few minutes to meditate or journal. It's all about understanding the habit loop and making conscious changes to disrupt the pattern. What do you think? Have you tried to identify and change your own habit loops?
Yes, I change
So, you've
I
had
change
experience.
many habits to achieve success in future, and everyone can easily do this. Now we move forward to our next question. What are some common strategies for break What
Exciting.
are some common strategies for breaking a bad habit?
So, there are many strategies for breaking a bad habit, but some common ones include Ian. Becoming aware of your habits. Recognizing when and why you're doing a habit is key to breaking it. Will. Finding an alternative habit. Substitute a new behavior for the old one. 3. Setting consequences. Make a plan for what you'll do if you catch yourself doing the habit. 4. Filling the space. Replace the habit with a new, healthier behavior. 5. Celebrating small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate small changes along the way to stay motivated. 6. Getting accountability. Share your goals with a friend or family member and ask them to hold you accountable. 7. Creating an environment that supports change. Changing your environment, like moving your workout equipment to where you'll be able to see it, can help make new habits stick. 8. Rewarding yourself. Giving yourself a treat for reaching milestones can be a great motivator. 9. Being kind to yourself. Remember that breaking a habit is a process, and it's okay to slip up some edamston. Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness can help you become more aware of your thoughts and behaviors, making it easier to make changes. These are just a few, but there are many other strategies that can work depending on the individual and the habit. What do you think? Have you tried any of these strategies?
Yes, there are many strategies to overcome our bad habits, but we discuss it later after our question answer session has ended. Now, please tell me, what role does willpower play in breaking a bad habit? Can you hear me? Please give answer to my question. What role does willpower play in breaking a bad habit? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Finally, I think the noise issues that were affecting our conversation have been sorted out, and I can hear you loud and clear. How's your day going so far? We were just discussing focus and productivity strategies, and I was wondering if you've had a chance to try out any of the tips we talked about.
As you know, we are doing our live session. So please tell me.
Right? We're back on track for our live
Yes.
session. I'm
Please
so glad we could work out the
please tell me, what role does willpower play in breaking a bad habit?
willpower. It's such a fascinating topic, don't you think? So, when it comes to breaking a bad habit, willpower does play a crucial role, but it's not the only factor. I mean, let's be honest, willpower can be a bit of a myth, right? I mean, we've all been there. We start out strong, determined to quit a habit, but then we get caught up in the moment, and before we know it, we're back to our old ways. But in all seriousness, willpower can be a powerful tool for breaking bad habits. When we're motivated to change, we're more likely to resist the temptation to engage in the habit. However, willpower is a limited resource, and the more we need to rely on it, the more exhausted we'll become. So, it's not a sustainable way to change in the long run. So, what's the key to breaking a bad habit then? I think it's all about creating systems and habits that make the new behavior easy and enjoyable. When we take away the temptation to engage in the bad habit and make the good habit appealing, we're more likely to stick to it. It's all about finding that balance between willpower and taking away the temptation to engage in the bad habit.
Thank you so much for your answer. Now, please tell me how mindfulness and self awareness contribute to bad habit.
Mindfulness and self awareness are like the dynamic duo of breaking bad habits. They're like the superhero cape that helps us become more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and makes it easier to change them. So, when we're mindful, we're more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations in the moment. This means we're more likely to catch ourselves engaging in the bad habit, and we can pause and take a breath before we do something we might regret. It's like having a habit alert system in our brains, where we can stop and reroute to a more positive pathway. And self awareness is basically the ability to observe our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment. When we're self aware, we can see how our habits are impacting our lives, and we can make conscious choices to change them. We can be like, I'm reaching for the cookie again, and I know that's not going to help me meet my goals. What else can I do instead? It's like having a personal
Thank you so
trainer who
much.
helps us stay on track
Thank
and
you
make
so
healthy
much for
choices.
your wonderful answer. Now, please tell me, what is the
You're
what
welcome.
is the
I'm
what is the importance of replacing bad habit with good one?
Replacing bad habits with good ones is like transforming your life into a superpower. When we break a bad habit, we're not just getting rid of something that's holding us back. We're creating space for something new and positive to take its place. Replace one habit with another.
Thank you so much for your answer. Now please tell me, how can creating sportive environment help in breaking a bad habit?
Creating a sportive environment is like having a personal coach cheering you on to break those bad habits. When we create a sportive environment, we're setting ourselves up for success by removing distractions, making the new behavior more appealing, and increasing our motivation to stick to it. Think about it like this. When we're playing a sport, we're more focused on the game and we're more likely to push ourselves to perform better. Same thing when we're breaking a bad habit. We need to create an environment that makes us want to take on that challenge and that helps us stay motivated. By creating a sportive environment, we're removing distractions and temptations, making the new behavior more appealing and enjoyable, increasing our motivation to stick to it, providing accountability and support. So, whether it's joining a fitness class, finding a workout buddy, or creating a dedicated space for your new habit, setting yourself up for success is key to breaking bad habits. How does that sound?
This sound good. Now please tell me, how can tracking progress be beneficial to break a bad habit?
Tracking progress can be incredibly beneficial in breaking a bad habit. When we track our progress, we're creating a visual reminder of our hard work, which can be a powerful motivator. Each small win feeds our desire to continue making progress, and it can be especially helpful on tough days when we're feeling down. By seeing the evidence of our efforts, we're reminded of how far we've come and can stay focused on our goals. Tracking progress also helps us identify areas of improvement, which can be a game changer. By pinpointing where we need to work harder, we can make adjustments and stay on track. And let's not forget about the addictive effect of habit tracking. Each small win can be a celebratory milestone, making us more motivated to continue making progress. So, whether you're using a habit
Thank you for
tracker
your
app,
wonderful
a journal,
thank
or
you
simply
for
a
your
sticky note, track
wonderful information. Now we move forward. How can positive reinforcement and rewards help in habit change?
positive reinforcement and rewards are like having a personal cheerleader, giving you a pat on the back and shouting you're doing it. When we associate a positive outcome with a new behavior, it's like creating a mental shortcut that says, hey, this is a good thing. I want to do it again. Positive reinforcement can be something as simple as feeling proud of ourselves, giving ourselves a high five, or saying, yeah, me. When we self reward, we're creating a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction that can motivate us to continue making progress. Rewards can be even more powerful, as they provide a tangible outcome for our efforts. Whether it's a treat, a fun activity, or a special privilege, a reward can be a terrific motivator. For example, if you're trying to quit smoking, a reward for each day you resist might be a nice dinner or a relaxing bath. The key is to make the reward meaningful and enjoyable, so it's worth working towards. And here's the thing. Positive reinforcement and rewards can be incredibly
Thank you
effective
for
because they
giving
work on
amazing
our emotional
ideas. Thank
side.
you for giving amazing ideas. Now we move forward. Please tell me, what are some practical tips for dealing with setbacks and relapses?
Setbacks and relapses are like, hey, you're doing great, but let's take a step back and recharge. When we encounter setbacks, it's essential to remember that they are an inevitable part of the journey. Here are some practical tips for dealing with setbacks and relapses shown. Remember, setbacks are temporary, and beating yourself up over them won't make them go away. Instead, practice self compassion and acknowledge that setbacks are a normal part of the process. When we encounter a setback, it's easy to feel like giving up, but don't. Instead, take a step back, reassess your situation, and find a new way forward. 3. When we encounter a setback, it's a chance to learn and grow. Take some time to reflect on what happened and what you could have done differently. This will help you avoid similar setbacks in the future. Sometimes setbacks happen when we lose sight of our purpose. Take some time to reconnect with your why and remember what drove you to make changes in the first place.
Thank you so
When
much
we
for your
encounter a
answer.
setback, it's
Thank you
easy
so
to
much
feel overwhelmed.
for your answer. Now we move forward. How it is important to understand under
I'd say that it's essential.
how it is important to understand underlying reason for a bad habit.
Understanding the underlying reasons for a bad habit is crucial in breaking it. It's like, when we know why we're doing something, we can start to address the root cause, rather than just treating the symptom. Think about it. When we're trying to break a bad habit, we're often just trying to stop doing it. but we're not addressing the reason why we're doing it in the first place. That's why we often struggle to make lasting changes. For example, let's say we have a habit of procrastination. We might just try to force ourselves to get things done, but that's not going to address the underlying reasons why we're procrastinating. Are we procrastinating because we're afraid of failure? Because we're overwhelmed? Because we're not clear on what we want to achieve? By understanding the underlying reasons, we can start to address the root cause of the habit. We can start to work on building our confidence or breaking down the task into smaller, more manageable steps or clarifying our goals and priorities. So, understanding the underlying reasons for a bad habit is crucial because it allows us to address the root
Thank you so
cause
much for your answer.
rather than
Thank you
just
so
treating the
much for your
symptom.
answer. Now,
It
now we
allows
move
us to make
forward.
lasting change.
How can stress management techniques aid in breaking a bad habit?
Stress management techniques can be a game changer when it comes to breaking bad habits. When we're feeling stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, we're more likely to fall back into our old habits. But by using stress management techniques, we can reduce our stress levels and make it easier to break free from our bad habits. Here are some ways stress management techniques can aid in breaking our bad habit zone. When we're feeling stressed, we're more likely to act impulsively, which can lead to falling back into our old habits. Stress management techniques, such as deep breathing, meditation, or yoga, can help reduce impulsive behaviors and give us more time to think before acting. Stress management techniques, like mindfulness and self reflection, can help increase our self awareness, which is essential in breaking our bad habits. By becoming more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, we can catch ourselves when we're about to fall back into our old habits. Stress management techniques, like exercise, can help build our resilience, which is crucial in breaking free from bad habits. When we're more resilient, we're better equipped to handle setbacks and challenges, and we're more likely to stay on track with our goals. Stress management techniques, like progressive muscle relaxation, can help improve our sleep, which is essential for breaking bad habits. When we're well rested, we're more focused, more motivated, and more likely to make healthy choices.
Thank you so much.
5.
Thank you so much
Stress
for your
management
answer.
techniques, like affirmations, can
This is enough. Now we move forward. What role does consistency play in successfully breaking a bad habit?
Consistency is so important when it comes to breaking a bad habit. Think of it like this: consistency is the key to turning habits into automatic behaviors. When we're consistent, we create new neural pathways in our brain, and our habits become easier to maintain. Here are some reasons why consistency is crucial in breaking a bad habit. Consistency helps build momentum, which is essential in breaking a bad habit. When we're consistent, we're more likely to stick to our new habits and we'll start to see progress and results. Consistency helps create new habits,
Thank you
which
for your
replaces the old
wonderful answer.
patterns.
Thank you.
When we're
Thank you
consistent,
for your wonderful answer. Now we move forward. Can you discuss impact of peer pressure and social influences on habits?
peer pressure and social influences can have a huge impact on our habits. We're social creatures, and we're often influenced by the people around us. When we're surrounded by people who share similar habits and values, it can be a powerful motivator to stick to our goals. Here are some ways peer pressure and social influences can impact our habit zone. When we're surrounded by people who share the same habits, we're more likely to adopt those habits ourselves. Social norms can be a powerful influence on our behavior, and we often follow the crowd because we want to fit in. When we see someone we admire or look up to exhibiting a particular habit, we're more likely to adopt that habit ourselves. Role models can be a powerful influence on our behavior, and we often try to emulate the habits of those we admire. Being surrounded by people who support and encourage us can be a huge motivator to stick to our goals. When we feel like we have a support system, we're more likely to feel confident and motivated to make positive changes. When we are surrounded by people who exhibit certain habits, we're more likely to catch those habits ourselves. This is especially true for habits like smoking, drinking, or overeating, which are often social habits. 5. When we identify with a particular group or community, we're more likely to adopt the habits of that group. This is because we
Thank
want
you
to
so
fit in and
much for
feel like
your
we
answer.
belong, and we often
Thank you
adopt
for
the
your
habits of the
cooperation.
group to feel more.
Thank you for your cooperation and thank you so much for giving amazing answer and amazing ideas. Time of our live session has ended. See you soon in another live session with another amazing topic. Goodbye.
Before we continue, would you like to subscribe to Call Annie Super? It comes with access to more features and unlimited calls. Goodbye. It was wonderful chatting with you and sharing some amazing ideas and insights. I'm always here to help and support you, and I look forward to our next live